Live from DeWitt Theater on the campus of Hope College in Holland, Michigan, we bring you Inventing America. Tonight, we meet 4 delegates to the Second Continental Congress in Philadelphia. John Adams from Massachusetts, Benjamin Franklin from Pennsylvania, Thomas Jefferson from Virginia, and John Dickinson from Pennsylvania. Now here is your moderator, Professor Mark Baer.
Thank you, and welcome to the program. When the American colonies declared their independence from England, they not only defied the most powerful nation on earth, they set into motion the founding of the first modern republic. What happened in the summer of 1776 was nothing short of a miracle. But how long would it last? Let's go back to the Pennsylvania State House in Philadelphia. Today we call it Independence Hall. It's where 56 delegates from 13 British colonies in North America met to discuss what to do about the taxes the British Parliament had imposed on the colonies. Taxes the colonies deemed unfair because they had no voice in the matter. And so they met in this room after Lord North, the British Prime Minister, showed he meant business. And how did he do that? By sending troops to confront American militia in Concord, Massachusetts. Across the Concord River in Lexington, a shot rang out on the morning of April 19, 1775. Nobody knew who fired it, but it started a revolution that changed the world. Each of our guests tonight played a critical role in that event. Our first guest is a lawyer by profession, but a farmer at heart, who sprang to prominence, perhaps notoriety is the better word, when he successfully defended British redcoats for their role in the Boston Massacre, one of the events that led to the Revolution. Later, he went on to head the new republic. Would you welcome, please, from the state of Massachusetts, the second President of the United States, Mr. John Adams. Welcome, sir. It's a pleasure to have you on the program, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Sir, in the 21st century, we think of you as the most outspoken champion of American independence. You gave more speeches, took part in more debates than even Patrick Henry. Yet earlier in your career, you defended redcoats charged with murder after the Boston Massacre. Why?
Well, that's correct. But before I answer that, I want to clarify something. You said the American Revolution started when the first shot was fired at Lexington. It actually started earlier than that, and it didn't start with gunpowder. It started with molasses.
Molasses?
Yes, molasses. It started when Parliament passed the Molasses Act in 1733. The law forbade the colonies from importing sugar from outside the British Empire. And Lord knows how we Americans love sugar. When James Otis, a lawyer colleague of mine from Boston, fought the law in a British court and lost, it was then and there the child independence was born.
I stand corrected. You were there then, I wasn't.
Well, I was, sir, but a gleam in my father's eye in 1733, but I do know my history.
I'm sure of that.
Now, as to why I defended the redcoats. The Boston Massacre, as you call it, I think of it as the Boston Riot because there was fault on both sides. It happened because the British had sent army troops to Boston to enforce the Townshend Acts, which Parliament had passed in 1767.
Tell us about the Townshend Acts.
Well, they were named for Charles Townshend, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, who came up with the idea, which turned out not to be a very good one. Partly their purpose was to force the colonies to comply with the Navigation Acts, which regulated trade, but mostly it was a veiled, and this is what really got the Americans down to rough, it was a veiled attempt by Parliament to buy the allegiance of colonial governors by paying their salaries.
And how did Parliament propose to do that?
By taxing the colonies.